All right, happy Saturday, I believe. Yeah, Saturday. We finished up chapter 24 yesterday. Rebecca and Isaac got married, and now we're on to chapter 25, which is the death of Abraham. So we're getting the last of Abraham here. Now Abraham married again. Keturah was his new wife, and she bore him Zimran, Jokshan, Medan, Midian, Ishbak, and Shua. Jokshan's two sons were Sheba and Dedan. Dedan's descendants were the Asherites, Letishites, and Lamanites. Man, he is making kids like crazy. Midian's sons were Ephah, Epher, Hanok, Adiba, and Eldah. These were all descendants of Abraham through Keturah. Abraham left everything he owned to his son Isaac. But before he died, he gave gifts to the sons of his concubines and sent them off to the east, away from Isaac. Abraham lived for 175 years, and he died at a ripe old age, joining his ancestors in death. His son Isaac and Ishmael buried him in the cave of Machpelah, near Mamre, in the field of Ephron, son of Zohar and Hittite. This was the field Abraham had purchased from the Hittites, where he had buried his wife Sarah. After Abraham's death, God poured out rich blessings on Isaac, who settled near Beer Lehroi in the Negev. So there you go. His sons buried him. It doesn't talk about funerals. It just talks about burying them, Maybe they did have a funeral. Maybe I'm reading too much into it. But there you go. Now we're on to Ishmael's descendants. This is the history of the descendants of Ishmael, the son of Abraham through Hagar, Sarah's Egyptian servant. Here is a list by their names and clans of Ishmael's descendants. The oldest was Nebaioth, followed by Keturah, Abdeel, Mibsam, Mishma, Duma, Massa, Hadad, Tema, Jetur, Naphish, and Kedemah. These 12 sons of Ishmael became the founders of 12 tribes that bore their names, listed according to the places they settled and camped. Ishmael finally died at the age of 137 and joined his ancestors in death. Ishmael's descendants were scattered across the country from Havilah to Shur, which is east of Egypt in the direction of Ashur. The clan's descendants from Ishmael camped close to one another. The birth of Jacob and Esau. The birth of Jacob and Esau. This is the history of the family of Isaac, the son of Abraham. When Isaac was 40 years old, he married Rebekah, the daughter of Bethuel, the Aramean, from Padanaram, and the sister of Laban. Isaac pleaded with the Lord to give Rebekah a child because she was childless. So the Lord answered Isaac's prayer, and his wife became pregnant with twins. But the two children struggled with each other in her womb, so she went and asked the Lord about it. "Why did this happen to me?" she asked. And the Lord told her, "The sons in your womb will become two rival nations. One nation will be stronger than the other. The descendants of your older son will serve the descendants of your younger son." So if you think about that, that's like they pleaded with the Lord for kids, and maybe that's not what God wanted from them at that moment, but God was like, "All right, I'll give you some kids, but you're gonna have some troubles. I want you to live this way, but if you want kids, that wasn't the plan right now, but you're pleading with me. So I'm going to answer your prayers, but it's going to be a tough go, you know. And when the time came, the twins were born. The first was very red at birth. He was covered with so much hair that one would think he was wearing a piece of clothing. So they called him Esau. Then the other twin was born with his hand grasping Esau's heel. So they called him Jacob. Isaac was 60 years old when the twins were born. Esau sells his birthright. As the boys grew up, Esau became a skillful hunter, a man of the open fields, while Jacob was the kind of person who liked to stay at home. Isaac loved Esau in particular because of the wild game he brought home. But Rebekah favored Jacob. One day when Jacob was cooking some stew, Esau arrived home exhausted and hungry from a hunt. Esau said to Jacob, "I'm starved. Give me some of that red stew you've made." This was how Esau got his other name, Edom, red. Jacob replied, "All right, but trade me your birthright for it." "Look, I'm dying of starvation," said Esau. "What good is my birthright to me now?" So Jacob insisted. "Well then, swear to me right now that it is mine." So Esau swore an oath, thereby selling all his rights as the firstborn to his younger brother. Then Jacob gave Esau some bread and lentil stew. Esau ate and drank and went on about his business, indifferent to the fact that he had just given up his birthright. You know, I would pretend to try to know about birthrights and all that, but I don't. Maybe it was big time back then. Firstborn, whatnot. But he didn't care. So that might bite him in the butt later. Well, we'll see as we go on and read this Bible. That's at the end of chapter 25. But it's interesting, like the personalities in the Bible and God giving everyone different personalities. According to, like, maybe they weren't supposed to be born in that moment, but people are human, so they do the deed, and then that happens, or they pressure, I would say pressure, but they plead with God for kids. So God's going to give them kids, but he's going to have a tough time with it. They're going to have a tough time with it, you know. So that's all I got for now. We'll be on chapter 26 in a bit. So there you go.